While researching the best hand blenders on the market today, I considered the power, speed, comfort, efficiency, and price of each top immersion blender, as well as how much other customers like them. And with that said, here are the must-know pros and cons of each top-rated immersion blender on my list. Don't forget to click the links below to see the latest price for each of the products. Now, let's see which hand blenders made it into my top 5 best immersion blender list. The 5th or best immersion hand blender on my list is the Peach Street Immersion Blender, which I rate as the best stick blender for beginners on a budget. And even though it's pretty inexpensive in the context of kitchen gadgets, I say grabbing the Peach Street Immersion Blender is a smart move if you're after a sturdy KitchenAid that will tackle soups and smoothies without flinching. The second I got my hands on this immersion blender, the robust 500-watt motor caught my attention. It doesn't just buzz around, it plows through stubborn fruits and hefty veggies with ease. So, whether it's a creamy soup or a thick smoothie, this handheld powerhouse has you covered. The turbo button is my go-to for a swift blending session, achieving that silky texture that I just love in my cooking concoctions. As someone who's big on convenience and cleanliness, I really appreciate the thought behind its detachable base. Cleaning up is such a breeze. After blending a spicy tomato bisque, I simply popped off the blade section, gave it a quick rinse, and voila, ready for the next blending session. Also, the blades are dishwasher safe, reaffirming my belief that this is a solid buy for anyone's kitchen. In terms of aesthetics, the sleek design is both attractive on the countertop and practical in hand. During my testing, I spent a good few hours blending for a large family gathering without any cramping or discomfort, which speaks volumes about its ergonomic qualities. Though it's sturdy and capable, I do wish there were an option for a lower speed setting. Sometimes the power of the blender edging over softer fruits is more than I need. And while the turbo mode works wonders on frozen foods, being cautious with delicate ingredients is a must to prevent splattering. So, the pros are that it powers through tough ingredients conveniently and quickly, which is just what you need. Also, the cleanup is a snap thanks to the detachable base, but then again, most of the top immersion blenders have this feature, so it's not like the Peach Street is light years ahead in innovation. Additionally, the ergonomic design ensures a comfortable grip during use, which is useful during long blending tasks. As for the cons, I really feel that the Peach Street Immersion Blender could benefit from more speed settings so that we could have more blending precision. Also, even though the blender is pretty comfortable to hold, I still think that the continuous button hold might be tiresome for those longer blending sessions. And yeah, as I said before, the turbo mode might be too intense for light blending tasks. So, while the Peach Street isn't the absolute best immersion blender on the market, it does a pretty good job for the price. Taking the number 4 spot on my best hand blender list is the MuellerLiving hand blender, which is ideal for soups and shakes. Once I unboxed my MuellerLiving hand blender, the sleek design caught my eye. Its stainless steel construction not only looks good on my countertop, but also feels sturdy in my hand. The first test was a creamy soup, and it blended everything to a smooth consistency without any unwanted splatters. A pet peeve of mine with immersion blenders. Not just for pureeing though. The whisk attachment was super useful for whipping up delicious fluffy pancakes last Sunday for all the family. It latches on with a satisfying click and makes for hassle-free cleanups, being dishwasher safe and all. Plus, the frother brings a touch of barista-level quality to my homemade lattes, if I do say so myself. A word for the power-hungry. The turbo mode is like having a secret weapon. It gives that extra oomph when tackling ingredients that need a bit more persuasion. It does, however, make the blender quite loud, and extended use can heat the motor up. But for quick bursts, it's a game changer. Overall, with a balance of power and precision, the MuellerLiving hand blender has earned its spot on my top 5 best handheld blender list, that's for sure. Now let's take a look at the pros of this top-rated immersion blender. It provides impressive blending power for its size. which is great for challenging ingredients that require a bit more blending force than usual. Also, with multiple attachments, you get that extra versatility that isn't always possible to experience with a standard immersion blender. Finally, turbo mode is great for quick results. Just be careful that your soup doesn't splash over the edge. As for the cons, the 500-watt motor can get hot with extended use, but that's to be expected with most hand blenders, to be honest. Also, it's a bit noisy at high speeds, but again, so are most top hand blenders. Finally, the accessories may require extra storage space, so you might want to pick a more compact immersion blender if you're really short on kitchen space. Checking in at number 3 is the super impressive KitchenAid cordless hand blender, which I rate as the best cordless immersion blender on the market today. And you'll soon learn why. I recently had the chance to test the KitchenAid cordless hand blender, and I'm pretty impressed by its seamless cord-free operation. It might sound dramatic, but moving around my kitchen without a cord to trip over or unplugging and replugging gave me the freedom I didn't know I needed. I can really see why this is one of the best rated hand blenders out there. As for longevity, the battery life was incredible. I whipped up several bowls of soup for my family without needing to recharge, keeping my cooking flow uninterrupted. In terms of construction quality, the blender feels solid and well crafted in my hands, not flimsy or fragile like so many cookie cutter immersion blenders. It powered through everything I threw at it: soups, smoothies, and even a quick hummus. The variable speed trigger gave me excellent control, adjusting the power intuitively as required. Cleaning was a breeze too, since the blending arm detaches and pops right into the dishwasher. What more could you ask for from a nifty little stick blender? Now, for those who are seldom patient, the first charge might feel lengthy if you're used to mains powered blenders, but it's well worth the wait, I can assure you. Also, the cost is higher compared to some corded models, but the convenience factor justifies the investment for me. This blender has definitely earned its spot on my kitchen counter, along with my Vitamix. More on that in a minute. So, the pros are that it's completely cordless, which provides excellent mobility in the kitchen while also reducing trip hazards, which is really useful if you have little ones running around. Also, the sturdy design has a powerful rechargeable battery, so you don't need to spend extra money paying for disposal batteries. Finally, the variable speed trigger for precise control enables you to make multiple dishes with ingredients of various toughness, so you'll never feel limited with the KitchenAid cordless hand blender. As for the cons, this hand blender is ever so slightly heavier than some corded models due to the battery, but honestly, it's still one of the lighter models on the market, which just shows how much work KitchenAid has put into the design. Now, due to the cordless nature of this stick blender, it is on the pricier side of the immersion blender market, but if you value convenience and ease of use, then I'd say that the KitchenAid is definitely the best cordless immersion blender that you can buy at the moment. Now, for the runner-up, the second best rated immersion blender on the market, the Breville BSB5 10 No XL Control Grip. Before recording this video, I just took the Breville Control Grip for a spin, having almost forgotten I bought it, and I've got to say, its performance is as smooth as the purees it creates. With its bell-shaped base and internal ribbing, the suction issue that's common with immersion blenders just wasn't there, letting me wield the blender with greater control. The ergonomic design feels like an extension of my hand, making blending tasks feel less like a chore and more like second nature. No wonder it has so many positive immersion blender reviews. Now, I've used my fair share of immersion blenders that claim to handle large volumes, but this one actually delivers. Its 8-inch immersion depth easily tackles my biggest pots of soup without any fuss. If it wasn't for the Vitamix, this would definitely be the best hand immersion blender on the market, that's for sure. Switching speeds is a breeze as well, and I can adjust on the fly to ramp up the power for tougher ingredients or slow it down for a gentle blend. As a busy mom, I just love the inbuilt versatility that this stick blender offers. As I'm sure you'll agree, attachments can often feel like cheap throw-ins in the world of kitchen gadgets, but not with the Breville. Every component, from the whisk to the chopper, feels robust and slots into place with satisfying precision. However, take note that all this power means when the Breville is cranked up to 11, it's not the quietest on the block. Also, its premium feel is matched with a premium price, and its hefty size means you'll need some decent cupboard space to stow away this chunky unit. But for a blend that's pretty much perfect every time, I'd say it's worth the trade-off. So, the pros are the strong blending power, which better still is accompanied by only minimal splatter at the very most. Also, the comfortable and intuitive grip for easy handling makes a big difference when you're blending for a while, let me tell you. And of course, the versatile attachments that you get really open up new possibilities in the kitchen. As for the cons, it's quite loud at maximum speed, but honestly, this is actually a good thing because with the sound comes greater power, which you really start to appreciate when you're faced with tough ingredients. Also, I have to be honest and say that it's on the pricier side for a hand blender, even though it's arguably the best hand blender for smoothies. So if you just want to, blend the odd bowl of soup every now and again, then you might be able to get by with something a bit cheaper. So what is the best immersion blender that money can buy? Based on my testing, that award goes to the 5-speed Vitamix immersion blender, and you're about to find out why. I recently used the Vitamix immersion blender to whip up a batch of creamy tomato soup, and it was an absolute dream. Right out of the box, the ergonomic design made it comfortable to hold as I blitzed through the tomatoes like a pro chef. At least I felt like a professional with my Vitamix in hand. In terms of aesthetics, the LED light on the speed settings added a touch of class to the sleek stainless steel body, and it was a welcome feature as I adjusted speeds without missing a beat. Also, its powerful motor is a game changer. It plowed through ice and fruit with zero issues for a silky smoothie. But I have to be real with you, I actually expected this from Vitamix, having owned a number of their impressive countertop blenders over the years. So yeah, their top-rated hand blender definitely lived up to my expectations. The scratch-resistant blade guard is a super thoughtful addition. I've used it in my cherished pots and pans without a single scuff, making it my new go-to tool for direct pan blending. As expected, being a longtime Vitamix user, cleaning up was nothing short of easy. A few quick rinses under the tap and I was done. The simplicity of the twist lock mechanism meant no fumbling around trying to detach the parts, and the stainless steel body wipes clean effortlessly. Plus, it stays looking great alongside my other kitchen appliances, which is always a bonus. Overall, the premium feel and performance of this Vitamix is undeniable. It's equipped me with a pro-level tool that I know will last for years, proving its worth with every blend. If you just want to buy the best hand blender, then look no further. So, the pros are that it offers effortless, one-handed use for multitasking in the kitchen. And also, the robust, scratch-resistant blade guard is perfect for all my non-stick cookware. Finally, the assembly clicks together easily, making it a breeze to use and store, which is the icing on the cake for me. The only real downside is that it's on the higher end of the price spectrum, so it might be overkill for those who only blend occasionally. Okay, so there you have it, kitchen enthusiasts, my carefully curated list of the best immersion blenders on the market today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video helpful in any way, then please do give it a like. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, you could maybe even consider subscribing as well. Thank you very much for watching.